Hey guys, Hybrid here with another character bios. This one's different than usual. I'm doing a manga, yes, they're called mangas, on Naruto. Naruto Uzamaki from the Naruto series. If you watch the anime, you might know him better from like Naruto Shippuden, I think that's how you say it. But in manga, it's all Naruto. Still, they didn't do the renaming thing for the time skip. But anyways, as you can see here, this picture is in color. The beginning image and the thumbnail will be in color, but the rest of the images in this video will be taken from the manga, thus they will be in black and white. So just so you guys might be wondering, hey, why is it in black and white? That's why the mangas are released in black and white. They don't usually color them at all. This order is going to be a little bit different. Obviously, unlike superheroes that usually are done in the character bios, Naruto's been Naruto his whole life. It wasn't a thing where, he was Peter Parker and then Spider-Man, or like he was Johnny Storm and then Human Torch. He was always who he is. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do all the way from a little bit before his birth up to kind of where he is now, per se. Like, I'm going to end it off where he joins Team 7. I'm going to briefly summarize what happens after that and kind of end it off where it is now. So yeah, this one was a very hard one to make, I have to admit, because like I said, he's Naruto his whole life, and it's kind of hard explaining because so much stuff has happened in this series. It's a very complicated series, which it has a lot of complex things going on in it. So yeah, hopefully I do a good job. So yeah, let's begin. Like I said like a few minutes ago, long ago in the land of Konohaguru sorry, I can't even pronounce this. Konohagakure. Konohaguru. Alright, anyways, in this land, a tailed beast of massive power named Kurama. Now, if you didn't know, in the world of Naruto, there's various tailed beasts. They stem from one tailed beast. There used to be, not one tailed beast, but the 10-tailed beast got split by this being called the Six Path Sage. And he was like the first one to use chakra, essentially. But anyways, he split that one uber powerful being, the 10-tailed beast, into various other tailed beasts. Ranging from the 1-tail, the 2-tail, 3, all the way to 9. So this is the 9-tailed fox, as he's commonly called, but his real name is Kurama. Anyways, he threatened to destroy everything in this land. The reason being was because he was controlled at the time by a corrupt ninja named Obito, which I'm not going to go into his origin because that is really complicated and that goes into a lot of characters. But he's a really big bad guy. You look him up on the internet and you'll get tons of history. So yeah, just fair warning there. But anyways, Obito Uchiha, the fourth Hokage, which is Naruto's father, named Minato. I'm not even going to try saying his last name. Namikaze, I think that's what it is. He stopped him and sealed Kurama away. Now, Kurama was sealed beforehand and the seal got broken and Kurama was released. And then, see, it's kind of hard to explain. I'm trying my best to do it without confusing you guys, but I'm going to kind of confuse myself in the process, even though I reread the Naruto volumes, went to the library and got them out. But anyways, due to Kurama's great power, the only really viable option, besides Minato's wife, I can't, is Minato or Minato, never mind. But anyways, he puts it in his newborn child. But, the power is too much for this newborn. So he divides the chakra in half. If you didn't know, chakra, same basic concept as Ki from Dragon Ball Z. But anyways, he puts the Yang chakra into the newborn child, who's Naruto, and he puts Yin chakra into himself before he dies. So it's kind of split there. You have the whole yin-yang thing going on. But anyways, Naruto grows up without knowing his parents because they are both dead, and is shunned by many members of the village he's in because a lot of them blame him, or they don't blame him per se all the way, but the fact that he has Kurama inside him, there's a lot of resentment there. So it's kind of like being the son of a massive serial killer and then sadly living in the same town that the serial killer killed in. That gives you a good idea. Now, even though he was treated by many to be an outcast, he was a very light-hearted, fun, and mischievous child. He pulled a lot of pranks. Literally, like, the first thing he does when you meet him is he paints on, like, all the statues. Like, picture Mount Rushmore and someone painting over that. That's pretty much what he did. He really does this for attention, and eventually, when he becomes old enough, he gets enrolled into the academy, where all the kids kind of go, the kid ninjas go to become better kid ninjas. Well, they're not ninjas yet, but they go there so they can learn. And they learn combat, they get educated obviously on other things, ninjutsu, taijutsu, genjutsu, which are different. Like genjutsu's like illusions, ninjutsu's like the stuff you actually make, like the clones in ninjutsu. Sasuke's infamous fireball technique is ninjutsu. So I guess ninjutsu is the physical stuff really. Genjutsu is more mental, and taijutsu is like combat, fighting styles. So think of it like martial arts kind of. But anyways, he has a goal in life, and that's become a Hokage in the future. And if you don't know what the Hokage is, the Hokage is basically the top-ranking ninja. He's like the president of this land. So at the academy, though, Naruto isn't the best student. He gets low grades. He's considered like at the last. Like if you have a list of people like they sometimes have, if you want to apply to college, if they give your class ranking, he'd be the last one. He sometimes didn't even make it to class. He was very, I guess he'd be what you would call a bad student. Now, one of the teachers or instructors at the academy named Mizuki told him that if he stole something called the Scroll of Seals and memorized at least one technique, he would be allowed to graduate. Now, another teacher found out named Aruka, he discovered this plan and tried stopping Mizuki, because obviously that's not the case and Naruto's just being used. So Naruto overhears, how Mizuki has tricked him, and during a confrontation, essentially, Mizuki attacks Naruto trying to take the scroll. Iruka takes the attack, he steps in the way taking the attack, and to protect Naruto, essentially. Now, this really impacts Naruto, and Mizuki starts going on about how Naruto is the host of Kurama, the Nine-Tailed Fox, if you don't remember me saying that before. He blames Naruto for what happened because his parents were killed during the whole thing with the Nine-Tailed Fox, and he basically goes on about how nobody will ever love him, that kind of thing. Iruka is different on his opinion with Naruto. He sympathizes with Naruto. He doesn't blame Naruto for what happened. He's like, you know what, Naruto? You're your own person. Kurama is its own being. You're not the same. So Naruto decides to defeat Mizuki and, help out, the actual teacher that cares for him, and uses something called the multiple shadow clone technique. And it's said that he creates over 1,000 clones, which is ridiculous, because first off, not only did he make shadow clones, which are different from regular clones. Regular clones are like illusions. Shadow clones are actual, like, physical clones. Like, you get hit by one and it hurts, kind of thing. So it's very impressive not only that he made one, but he mastered the technique to such a degree that he made over 1,000. Now, having mastered the multiple shadow clone technique, Naruto is allowed to graduate, but he's put onto Team 7 with Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. Now, Sasuke, his personality, to describe it, he's very cold, very calculating, very straightforward kind of guy. He's kind of the opposite of Naruto. But anyways, now there's something called Genin, which is a rank. You go by ranks in ninjas for Naruto, but they go on missions throughout the whole land, Konohaguru, Karu. I like I said, I'm sorry, I keep on mispronouncing it. But anyways, they fight various threats and develop, themselves at the same time. Now, a lot of you might be like, this doesn't really wrap up Naruto. Here's where I wrap up Naruto. But Naruto learned more about Kurama, eventually forming a relationship with him, a friendship, really. He also trained really hard. He met someone, his godfather actually, named Jiraiya, who specializes, he's called the Pervy Sage, but he writes all these, pervy books, but he's a really good ninja, a really great ninja, one of the greats, you could say. And he specializes in summoning technique and sage mode, toad kind of related techniques. And he trains Naruto for about 2.5 years. Naruto greatly improves. He becomes, a true hero, protecting the land from various extremely powerful threats, proving he's very powerful and skilled. And, he's essentially at this stage probably really soon bound to become the next Hokage as soon as Tsunade is killed. If you don't know who Tsunade is the current Hokage. Now abilities. I know that was a lot to take in about Naruto's origins, but abilities in this world of the manga, they pretty much have magic to a certain degree. Like, it's essentially magic without calling it magic, manipulating the chakra and all that stuff. But to put it in terms for I guess kind of simple terms, fast energy manipulation and projection. He has enhanced physical abilities and is a skilled combatant. Now you can further augment these if he takes energy from the Nine-Tailed Fox Kurama, or if he enters something called Sage Mode. Now I am briefly going to go into his abilities really quickly. So and I know all the Naruto fans would kill me if I didn't mention his sexy technique, which is pretty much he turns into a sexy girl. Now, who's naked. Now he has that ability. He can also manipulate his chakra, like I said. He can share his chakra to other people, even people that can't manipulate chakra innately, such as Rock Lee. He can use the chakra to have something called Jinchuriki forms, which basically the chakra from the Nine-Tailed Fox covers his body. Now the more he uses, his appearance changes to reflect more like the Nine-Tailed Fox, unless he goes into something called the Nine-Tails Chakra mode, which is basically a big kind of chakra cloak around his whole body with a tail and two ears, resembling the Nine-Tailed Fox one-tail form, essentially. So also he has the Shadow Clone technique. I went into that. He basically can clone himself. That's like one of his main techniques. Is like the first one he really showed a good grasp with. Also, he has a summoning technique. You can summon these giant toads, which can fight and also do ninjutsu in their own right, so they're pretty powerful. He has what has become kind of his trademark attack since Shippuden, which is the Rasengan, and basically it is a counterpart really to Sasuke's Chidori, as in, it's basically a ball of chakra, while, the Chidori is like concentrated electricity and lightning. This is concentrated energy itself, so it's very, very powerful. And he can do variations of it, such as the Wind Release Rasengan, which is basically a Rasengan that you can throw at people. He has something called Senjutsu, which is the kind of Sage Mode. Now, he could combine Sage Mode with Kurama's Chakra to make this uber powerful mode. So think of it kind of like Super Saiyan forms, and this is like Super Saiyan 4 to the max. Now, it's uber powerful, obviously, and that it's just, yeah, it's ridiculous. Now, also, he's a pretty good fighter in his own right. He's nothing fantastic, but he can hold his own, especially because he's a close range fighter. He doesn't do a lot of long range fighting, so he really excels in getting up close and personal. So that really wraps up his abilities, and I know this is a very long video. So that is it for character bios for Naruto. I hope this kind of gave you some insight on the character. If you want to read his mangas, go check him out. The TV series is pretty good too for fans, as far as I know. My buddy Chris asked me to do this, one because he's a big fan of Naruto. So here you go, Chris. I hope you're happy. Hope I did you proud. And yeah, this is Hybrid, and I'll see you guys later.